Well, hey there. Hi, it's Stephanie from Our Natural Wisdom, and so glad that you're here today for another episode of Soulful Gardening Wisdom. I'm really happy to be coming here today to talk about the issue of perfectionism and people pleasing and how native gardening can help you release these burdens, really, that are in our lives. I am a self-confessed perfectionist. I am a recovering perfectionist and people pleaser. And I wanted to share with you some of the realizations I've had in the last few years about how our native gardens have provided me so much healing and have allowed me to release so much of that heaviness of seeking perfection and the trap of people pleasing, which goes hand in hand with perfectionism. I'll get to that in just a moment, but first I just wanted to talk a little bit about perfectionism because I know that it can get a bad rap, deservedly so, and yet it also is talked about in the context of being a high achiever and having high standards. And those are wonderful things. Those are things that have allowed you to accomplish so much in your life and to achieve so much. And so having high standards and being a high achiever those are great things. Those are great things. They can provide so much motivation and really lead you to wonderful things in your life. The problem is, and it can be a thin line and a slippery slope, the problem is when we set excessively high standards, right? And when we are always forcing ourselves to get to some level that is forcing us to perform at a very high level all the time, which really is not realistic, and it is not being good to ourselves. It's not being compassionate with ourselves. And this can really result in a lot of self-criticism, a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of berating ourselves for not achieving at a certain level. And this also leads to forgetting to celebrate all of the wonderful things that you have accomplished in your day-to-day life. When you set a goal and you really work hard for it and you don't achieve that goal, the progress that you have made, the actions are so worthy of celebration. When we forget to do that, that's when we know that perfectionism has become a real issue in our lives. I have experienced that myself, my friend. So I am speaking from a lot of hard-earned life lessons on this front. Perfectionism can go hand in hand with people-pleasing because when we become really self-critical, really hard on ourselves, we begin to look to the external world for validation. We begin to look outside of ourselves for a bolstering of our self-worth and our self-value. And this, as you can tell, is not a healthy way to be approaching your life. So we really want to get a handle on those perfectionist and people-pleasing tendencies so that you can free yourself from those restrictions. And they can be such a trap to fall into. And the thing that only recently really occurred to me is that planting with native plants, creating a native garden, a garden of plants that are of the place where you live. They evolve there for thousands of years. There is an energy about it. There is a life force energy that you are restoring to your land, to the land around your home or business. And this really generates a higher level of appreciation and understanding of process and of the function of the space, and that the function and all of the things that you are restoring to your landscape through your plantings is restoring this web of life that is flowing through us at all times. when we work with native plants, when we work with restoring our landscapes and restoring the health to everything from the soil to the water and the air quality, not to mention everything that our wildlife is depending upon to survive and thrive, when we restore this flowing life force energy, we feel it flowing through ourselves, and it really allows us to appreciate and experience the growth process. And it allows us to understand that we don't need to seek perfection. There is no perfection. Nature shows us over and over again that perfection is actually, it can be a weakness when we are seeking perfection, because it is not in sync. It's not in alignment with the flow of life force energy. It's constantly flowing around us. Now, gardens, that seems all very, cool and mystical and whatnot. But the very real issue that I have found over and over again, both within myself and with my clients and my students and lots of people that I've talked with about native gardening, is that when we have this sense of what a garden should look like, it is often based upon what the gardening industry has told us, what our conditioning in our family has told us, what society tells us, what Pinterest and magazines tell us. And we stop ourselves from going after creating something as life affirming and peaceful and beautiful as a native garden, because it is not the standard of, quote, beauty for a garden. Some people think that it looks a little too natural, a little too wild, a little too messy. I want you to know that you can make a native garden look very prim and proper and manicured, and a lot of people will start out creating their native gardens in that way, where you really feel like you have control of the situation, and it feels more reminiscent of a traditional ornamental garden. But when you start doing more with these plants, when you start connecting with this space, with all of the health and function that you are restoring to your landscape, it brings you this sense of peace that is sometimes quite unexpected. A deep sense of peace, a sense of giving back to the land. And as you are doing this, you are creating this healing connection. It is really a channel of healing that you are sharing with your land, with the space around your home. And this allows so much release of heaviness, release of burdens, release of expectations, high standards that you may have set for yourself, high standards that you may have set for the way that your garden looks. And we also have a lot of resistance to what will people think of our native garden. What will people think if I don't cut down all of my plants in the fall like we haven't here? What will people think when we just rake our leaves into our garden to act as a natural mulch over the winter months, rather than blowing all of the leaves into bags and tidying everything up and shipping them off to some other place? When we are able to again connect with all of the life that you are bringing to your garden and the life that you are restoring within yourself, this energetic connection with life force energy flowing all around your home, through your home and through you, you will find that that appearance is life affirming. You will find that it is all about the authentic expression of life, as opposed to a super clean and tidy garden like a lot of us grew up thinking was the gold standard. Now, when we connect with this authentic beauty that is within nature, that we are able to bring to our home gardens, we are connecting with the authentic beauty within ourselves. And so we're not seeking affirmation from others. We are validating our own self-worth and self-value and everything that we have to offer the world, regardless of whether it meets some standard that is exceedingly high and difficult to reach. So when we are able to really enjoy the process of creating a native garden, watching it grow and expand over time, watching all of the creatures benefit from it, the birds and the butterflies and the moths and all of the bees, the pollinators that we need, that need so much help and that we can provide so much help to. When we connect with all of this affirmation of life, we are connecting with the authenticity within ourselves. And this is so deeply healing. It's almost hard for me to describe in actuality because I have experienced this at such a deep level. There is no way several years ago I would have imagined that I would be leaving up my plants in the wintertime, that I'd be raking leaves onto the garden beds. It just wasn't how I was brought up to garden. It wasn't what I thought the standard was for gardening. But native gardens shift your standards to a more life affirmational place, both around your gardens, both within your home garden and also within yourself. So you're able to live and thrive from a place of authenticity. It really strengthens your self-compassion as well because you are connecting with these self-limiting beliefs that you may have created over the years. And when you are able to see how those are not true, that you can have a different path, that you can be somebody who affirms life in all respects, you will benefit in so many beautiful ways. So for a simple mindfulness activity, hi everybody, thanks for joining, hi. For a simple mindfulness activity, I encourage you to allow yourself to experience the feeling of having life all around your home, to know that that affirmation of life flows all the way around your home, all the way through you. Even if you don't have gardens, even if you don't have native gardens quite yet, know that the potential is there. This potentiality exists because nature, Mother Earth, is right there waiting for you to accept her invitation and begin that process of affirming life more deeply. And it's so easy, you guys. That's the other thing. Native gardening, so much easier than traditional ornamental gardening. It requires a lot less work, and you have the experience of watching everything evolve and grow together. It's not just about the plants, but it's about this ecosystem that you are truly bringing back to your home, this diversity of life. So allow yourself to tap into that and hear what your beautiful soul has to guide you in bringing this into your life, manifesting this affirmation of life all around your home and flowing within you. I hope that you enjoyed today's soulful gardening wisdom moment, and if you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to click the link in bio. You can receive my free guide to 5 naturally healing and calming plant textures. These are 5 plants that are native to the US, and you can easily incorporate them in your garden space. The free guide explains just how easy it is and lists out the 5 species of plants for you to connect with and see who is offering you some beautiful healing today. Thank you again so much. I look forward to seeing you again next Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time for another episode of Soulful Gardening Wisdom. Thank you. Have a great day.